What's up, ladies and gents? This is Casey Kid, coming at you with another Destiny video. By now, we've all seen the live stream that Bungie did yesterday on Twitch. They were doing part 1 of their reveal for the April update. I happened to record it yesterday, and I put it up on the channel for anybody else that might have been working, that might have missed it, that might have just completely forgot that Bungie was doing something on Twitch. So if you want to go ahead and watch that, you certainly can. You can start forming your opinions. And what I want to do right now is I want to talk about some of the cool things that we learned in that update and that we learned outside of it. Because Bungie also put up an article which had some additional information for us. Some additional information that we didn't learn about in the video. So if you enjoyed this video, go ahead and smack that like button and subscribe to the channel. Now yesterday, after I put up the Twitch stream, I ended up starting this particular video. I started just putting down some of my thoughts, and then I decided, you know what, I want to just take a step away. I want to take a little bit of time to read some of the articles and everything that's going on, just to form a little bit of a better opinion. Now the fun thing is that a few days ago we did a prediction video, where we were just going to start guessing as far as some of the things that were going to happen in the update. One of the things was the light level. I asked what a quote-unquote significant light increase would be. I thought that they might have taken it up to a nice round number of 350, and it looks like it is actually going to be 335. So that's going to be our new light level that we're striving for. 335 is going to be the new max. So my original guess was completely debunked, though in fairness, I probably was guessing too high. So how are we going to get this new light level? Well, we're going to have all kinds of increased light activities, meaning that things like our Nightfalls, our Iron Banner, our Trials of Osiris, our Heroic Strikes are going to start giving increased light gear. This also means that the Kingsfall raid is going to give increased light gear. Now normal will give you up to 320 light, and hard mode will get you up to 330. So actually the Kingsfall raid, hard orcs, will not be the thing that you're using to get up to max light. That will not be what you use. We'll get to that in just a second. So that's something really interesting right off the bat. The raid is not going to take you up to the max level. Will Trials of Osiris? That I don't know. I don't know what the increase will be for Trials of Osiris or Iron Banner. I'm sure we'll see a little bit of a mix, but we did learn that the Court of Orcs is actually going to be dropping artifacts up to 335. So the Court of Orcs might become relevant for getting your high-end artifacts. What does this mean for the Kingsfall challenge mode, where we know we've been getting tons and tons of 310 and 320 artifacts? Again, we don't know. They might not be dropping. They might only be dropping up to 330. That would probably make sense if the hard mode only gets you up to 330. So they might really want you to get back into doing the Court of Orcs and making that actually relevant. Because we all know if you go on the Dreadnought, how many people even delve that far into it? I've got so many runes that I never ever use. So that might be a way for Bungie to go ahead and get people over to the Court of Orcs. I certainly will probably go over that way. I mean, why not? That might be one of the easiest pieces of gear to get at 335 to begin with. Probably not, because there's probably going to be a huge range of different values that you can get as far as the artifacts, if they even drop. But at least it's something that you can do right off the bat. We also have some new quests and a brand new strike. The new strike is going to have the enemy boss, Malik, and you probably know him from the Grasp of Malik. Obviously, we're not going to be able to get that gun from him because it drops elsewhere, but we are going to have strike-specific gear from that strike, just like we get the Queenbreaker's bow, just like we get the Grasp of Malik, just like we get some of the other items in-game, which is nice. Now, they did mention that this Blighted Chalice strike is going to be coming from a quest that you get. No indication as far as if we get an exotic reward from this quest. It would certainly be nice. There is definitely some new images showing some pretty cool looking gear, some new armor and everything. We've seen some images with the Taken shader, so yes, everybody was assuming we were going to be getting a Taken shader. It really looks like that. We see a Taken sword. How is that going to act? How is that going to be different from some of the other exotic swords that we already have? I even see what looks like a Taken shotgun. That would be pretty awesome. I would like to see some Taken versions of weapons. What if you have Taken versions of weapons that you already own? That would be really interesting. That could be really interesting, just like how we have Taken enemies that are just like normal enemies, but when they turn into a Taken version, they get a full different set of moves that they get. That would be pretty interesting. And I think that we're really going to be getting a selling point next week. Next week is going to be the big week that lets us know if everything new is worthwhile. Because next week, whenever we learn about this gear, that's what's going to start making people really salivate. This week, it was all about what you're going to do, what you're going to be striving for, and that is 335, that's doing the new strike, that's doing the new quests, and that's the new revamped Prison of Elders. So the Prison of Elders is getting a bit of a facelift. There's going to be a level 41 version that can get you up to 320 light gear. It seems like they really want to get you up to 320 light, and there's a reason for that. We'll get to that in just a second. But in this level 41, which is the highest Prison of Elders we've seen so far, it's actually going to be matchmaking accessible. So it's going to be just like the level 28 version that we have, and you're going to be able to get awesome gear from it. Awesome high-level gear. Now, what I'm hoping for is that the weapons that come from the Prison of Elders are significantly better than the ones that came from the House of Wolves. The House of Wolves weapons were terrible. They were all terrible because they all held a special perk on them that basically wasted the gun, because that one perk that would take up one node slot was always about a specific enemy. It made them pretty much useless in the PvP arena. So I'm hoping that the weapons are definitely better this time around. Definitely hoping for that. But outside of the 41 Prison of Elders, we also have the Prison of Elders Challenge Mode. And to go into that, you want to grab the Emperor's Sigil. And with that, you're going to have a couple challenges to do. You get to complete one sigil on each character per week. And whenever you do that, you turn it in for rewards. Rewards up to 335. So the Prison of Elders Challenge Mode is what you're going to be using to get your max level gear, your max level weapons, and your max level armor. So this new challenge mode for the Prison of Elders is definitely different. It's 3 rounds of boss fights. 3 rounds of boss fights with specific modifiers that you go into it. And those modifiers are going to help you decide how you can get the highest score. Because that's what you need to get. You need to get a high score on your sigil. You need to get a score determining how many points you can get in 3 rounds. So one whole run of the challenge mode. If you break the score on the card, you end up turning that into Varix, and you get a guaranteed weapon up to 335 light. If you don't happen to manage to get that, don't worry, because you're probably going to have to run into the Prison of Elders again anyway, because there's also a cumulative score. You need to also get a cumulative score for your rounds in the Prison of Elders. Not necessarily completions, but rounds. You need to get a score for that, and when you turn that in, you get up to a 335 armor piece. So they're definitely going to want you to go into the Prison of Elders a lot. And they talked about how they have all these different bosses in combinations of skulls, so that there's going to be different ones for 16 weeks. So they're saying roughly 4 months. And that sounds great, but I'm not 100% sold just yet that it's going to be fresh and new and interesting this entire time. I'm not 100% sold on that just yet. We're going to have to get in there and see how long this holds for. But what I will say, though, is that it's not going to be like the last time. It's not going to be like the last time because of the modifiers. Because of the modifiers, it's going to change the way that you actually have to go into the fights. For instance, on stream, the modifier was precision kills give you bonus points. And that makes a lot of sense because we're typically going for those kind of kills anyway, because they deal the most damage. So it just seemed normal. But what happens when a modifier is that you have to get kills with melee to get extra points? What about grenade kills? Something like that could definitely change the way that you're actually going about the game and how you're fighting these bosses. So it's definitely just a little bit different. I don't think we definitely nailed down exactly what the feeling is going to be like. I think we're going to have to wait and see until we've gone through it a couple weeks. If it's stale after a couple weeks, then that's not a good sign. That's not a good sign. It's going to be difficult to actually be able to go through this for the entire process to get up to that 335 light gear. But if it's fun, if it adds a little bit of different and just randomness to it, then I think that can be a really nice thing. And I'm really hoping so, because one, my characters aren't 320 light to begin with, and you need to get up to 320 light if you want to even just really jump into the Prison of Elders challenge mode, because that's where it's starting. But if you can't get up to 335 light and you don't care about getting up to 335 light, that's going to make Destiny be at a big time lull in content going forward. It's going to be really tricky. I think what they're trying to do with this Prison of Elders in this release is get people into the game and interested in the game until they come out with what I assume is going to be a paid DLC in the fall. Again, I have no idea if it's going to be a paid DLC. It's just my guess that it will be. And if they can keep the Prison of Elders interesting, at least until the summertime is going on, the end of summertime, they're going to leave you right around that sweet spot when we're just ready for the next DLC. If it's not, if this doesn't hit the mark, there's going to be a big drought in Destiny in the summertime. There could be a huge, massive drought. So what I'm really hoping for, I'm crossing my fingers for this to turn out to be something that's really fun and enjoyable. Otherwise, we're going to hear Bungie really having to scramble to come up with some new content, some new ideas to keep people engaged up until their next DLC. So this sounds like fun though. This does sound like fun. I'm looking forward to getting back into the Prison of Elders, probably because I haven't played it in a long, long time. I imagine a lot of people haven't played the Prison of Elders for a long time. So we've got these new strikes, we've got a new quest, we've got a level 41 Prison of Elders that we're probably going to be jumping into to get those higher light gear, because there are treasure rewards that we get from that. And then we're going to parlay that all into the 3-round challenge boss run of Prison of Elders, and that's going to be what we do each week. We're going to complete our Emperor's Sigil to try to get our 335 weapons and our 335 armor to level up our characters. And we're probably going to be doing the raids again a little bit. I mean, we're probably going to be doing the raids to get some of that 330 gear to bridge the gap a little bit from the 320 up to the 335. I'm probably going to have to be back doing hard orcs. Oh man. Oh man. So that is it. Overall, I'm pleased with the update because it is a free update. If you have the Taken King, you're going to be getting this update. You're going to download the patch, you're going to be getting this update. So for the price, it's right. They're going to be having the Eververse Trading Company. They're going to be selling emotes and all the kind of stuff that they sell, the just fashionable type things that people are going to buy. And if you buy that, you're helping fund these free updates. And if you don't buy it, you don't have to buy it. But again, for free release, especially when you compare this to other free things that have gone on in Destiny, the Crimson Doubles, Sparrow Racing League, Iron Banner, this is pretty big. This is pretty big. We get a light increase, we get a bunch of new weapons, gear, we get some new strikes, the Archon Priest strike plus the brand new strike, we get our Prison of Elders updated, and we get to just go through the game, level up, Court of Orcs again. So there's definitely some nice stuff that's coming into here. Will it be able to keep us engaged until the next release? That I don't know. You know, we can be made promises that things are new and fun, but we have to wait and see for ourselves. We have to watch the first update stream release, we have to watch the second one next Wednesday, and the third one to get a better picture of exactly what's going on. And even after that, we still have to jump into the game and see for our own eyes. See if we really truly are enjoying what's new. It looks like fun, the price is right. If you haven't played Taken King in a while, this might be worthwhile to at least jump into, see what's new, see if you can get something new, or a brand new exotic, or a returning old exotic. We're going to find out about those next week. I'm really looking forward to the loot stream. I think that's going to be awesome. But anyway, guys and gals, those are my opening thoughts. If you enjoyed this video, smack that like button and subscribe to the channel. Check out these awesome videos. Good luck with your raids, your drops, the Taken King, and I'll see you around in Destiny. April's coming, April showers.